All right, welcome back, True Seeker. It is Thursday, December 12th, 2024, and the two big stories this morning from the federal government is Joe Biden again has set the record for a record number of commuted sentences and sentences granted clemency. We talked about that earlier. He gave 39 people clemency, essentially ending their sentence 39 days before Inauguration Day. And the big name on that list is Jimmy Dimora. And we're going to go over how it makes you wonder if Jimmy Dimora ever did a day in prison as we get to just how amazing this ritual is. But again, on the day that Biden's pardoning people and granting clemency, then what else comes into the news? FBI, and this is one day after Chris Wray announces his resignation at the end of Biden's term. But then what else is in the news? January 6th. And supposedly it took 47 months for the FBI to confirm that there were no FBI agents on the ground, only informants. And of course, we knew about the informants the whole time because the Proud Boys were there. And essentially, the Proud Boys are a bunch of FBI informants, as we've covered so many times. And there were other groups there as well that had informants, but again, just the timing of these stories, and it points to the obvious when Trump takes office that a lot of people's sentences are going to be pardoned and commuted for January 6th. And then that'll be the outrage and the focus, and the different news networks will have on the different points of view. And it'll keep people invested in the same political game and pointing fingers at the other side and not seeing the forest for the trees. That it's all political theater, that both sides of the aisle are in on the game of ruling over the rest of us. And ruling over the rest of us means lying to us. It means unjust taxes. It means the same old BS that goes on every day, including, scandemics and faked or I'm not going to say fake terrorism. I mean, again, what happened on 9/11, that was not the work of men in caves or from people overseas. But you should look up what the original definition of terrorism was actually from the 1800s. When Webster's dictionary was in its early days, the original definition of terrorism was government by intimidation. But again, you learn what this government's up to. You see that every day it's perfect ritual, it's perfect political theater, and it's all done by a Kabbalistic code. And what's annoying is people will roll their eyes at that when the reality is DC is named the Masonic city, and Masonry is based in Kabbalah, and numbers are very important within Kabbalah. And literally every single day, it's a numerical ritual. Again, they etch on that Masonic temple. All is number. So CNN covers it. No evidence found to back up Trump allies' January 6th claims, Watchdog says. Again, the claims were that the FBI was on the ground. They're saying that's not true. The FBI only had informants there. Fox News covers it this way: assigned by the Bureau. Number of FBI confidential sources on the ground during January 6th revealed by DOJ. So again, just one narrative is, oh, Trump's a liar. And then the other one's like, yeah, well, informants aren't too far off. So anyhow, let's go through this. And by the way, before I even get into this, just covering the whole Luigi Mangione thing, just so many 47s in that hoax of a story. Again, the 47 story Midtown Hilton Hotel with 47 suites where Donald Trump was the night of the 2016 selection, where it was rigged for him. Again, the supposed assassination of the CEO of the 47-year-old company, where he became CEO on April 7th, 4/7/2021. I did find that memo. He did become CEO on 4/7/2021. And to add another 47 to it, again, it was 47 days before Inauguration Day. Of course, it's going to be the inauguration of the 47th president of the United States, unless Biden doesn't finish his term. But I noticed that University of Pennsylvania, their establishment date is November 14th, the day leaving 47 days left in the year. And don't forget that Trump went there to the Wharton Business School. So Trump also has a tie to the same school the assassin does. But yeah, even that school was established on the day leaving 47 days left in the year. Again, the Masons studied the 47th problem of Euclid, and now coming back to the FBI, or actually more like the IG for the DOJ. It took him 47 months to come to this conclusion about the FBI's relation to January 6th. So let's go through this. We'll start with the Inspector General, and then we'll come back to Jimmy Dimora having his sentence taken away by Biden, or his remaining sentence. So today leaves 19 days left in the year, right? 19 days left in the year. And this report's about the FBI, and in Gematria, FBI equates to 19. And again, 19 is not an arbitrary number. It's a number related to time. Again, the moon's on a 19-year cycle. It's part of why Thomas Jefferson said back in the early days of this country, if you want to preserve rights and liberties, you'll need to revolt every 19 years. He knew then the people that worked by the 19-year moon cycle. And in the 21st century, we should all know about it. 9/11 and the 19 hijackers. 19 years later, that was the war on terror. 19 years later, you got C-19 and the war on germs. And again, in both wars, you lose rights and liberties. The government grows the surveillance state. People become more indoctrinated to the lies, and people with it become less and less American. Again, this populace in the 21st century doesn't really embody anything that was supposed to be the American spirit. Land of the free, home of the brave. I mean, nobody's brave. You got cowards scared of a 99.9% survivable illness. Free, hardly, and people don't care about that either. People also don't respect the First and Second Amendments, pretty much the two things that make America America. Again, all of this has happened very rapidly in the 21st century. For those of us who lived before the 21st century, and I was a younger person, I mean, I turned 18 just weeks before 9/11 happened, but you've just rapidly seen this country change in its culture. And you've also seen it become a lot more polarized and divided, and more idiotic and more blind to the obvious. Like, how many people are so certain that Donald Trump's going to make things better when he was the guy who was in office and went along with the whole scam out of Switzerland and was over at the World Economic Forum gloating about his trade deal with China as the virus was confirmed in the U.S., first case in the world from China. And then again, I mean, lifelong Democrat, just like Ronald Reagan was Donald Trump, the two guys who ran on MAGA who came from Hollywood. And again, I mean, you look at Donald Trump, I mean, I don't even want to, these political parties are totally blurred, but decades ago, the Republicans were all about preserving the Second Amendment. Trump's like, might as well be Hillary Clinton. He said, I like take the guns first and due process second. I mean, that's a Republican. Anyway, the man who came to this conclusion today with 19 days left in the year is born on the 19th of September. And his name, Michael E. Horowitz. He's one of these guys who goes by his middle initial. That name has a gematria value of 190, which is the 19th triangular number, just for the record. These things aren't that important, but I just want to emphasize how 19 it is. It's also exactly 12 weeks after his birthday on 12/12. We'll come back to that. But notice, from January 6th to today is 47 months and 6 days. It's also 25 days before the anniversary of January 6th. Obviously, if today leaves 19 days left in the year, 19 plus 6 for January 6th, 2025, it's in 25 days. Trump will be taking office in 2025. In case you forgot what he did on November 25th, that's when he proposed his 25% tariff tax rate for Canada and Mexico. And if you noticed in recent days, Trump's been saying that he might not be able to do as much to bring grocery prices down, and that's what these politicians always do. Again, you guys, Trump's friends, just like Biden's friends with these Jesuits, these Klaus Schwabs of the world. Again, Klaus Schwab, the Jesuit who leads the World Economic Forum, who said by 2030 you'll own nothing and be happy. That was during the time of the lockdowns and the time of Trump signing off on trillions of dollars in printing of money, which no doubt caused hyperinflation, which is a big component of why things are way more expensive today. And we called this out before we even got our first stimulus check. I was saying then how it'd be better if we weren't getting any stimulus checks, because it was going to make things a lot more expensive in the not too distant future. I mean, I called all this out but before it unfolded. And again, for anyone who had a brain, they would have been saying the same thing. But very few people have a brain or have a clue about anything in this country. They just go along with what the TV said or what their political party said, all trapped in the game, not seeing the forest for the trees. But again, 47 months, 25 days for the anniversary. The 205 weeks is also there. And by the way, somebody just told me that Trump was named Time Person of the Year. Is that today as well? Is that true? Is that today? Nice. Trump, also Time Magazine's Person of the Year. And remember, Trump and Time have the same gematria. So many rituals with Time Magazine and Trump over the years. So many. But Time got the 4725, just like Trump has the 47 and 25. If you're new here, these are the 4 base ciphers of the English language. The alphabetic order, the reverse alphabetic order, and both orders with numerology. And of course, if you're new here, we always talk about the 201 gang, who really runs the show. Notice Time Magazine got the 201 and the 60. Should remind you of when Trump's ex-wife died exactly 60 weeks into the first ever Jesuit Ignatian year, and they buried her on the 201st day of the year when these numbers are very special to the Jesuits. 201 and 60. Again, their original order had 60 members. First Jesuit Pope, the first living suite, 201 at the Vatican. Of course, Donald Trump's got the 60 as well, as he wins the rigged 60th U.S. presidential selection. But okay, so you got the Time Person of the Year thing buzzing today too. Again, today is 39 days before Inauguration Day. DC is the Masonic city. Federal Masonry and Secrecy, 39, going with Biden granting clemency to 39 people. Another 39 word is empire. And you think about the American Civil War, which started in 1861. Again, the Confederate flag flew on 6/1, like 61. With January 6th, again, that war had a lot of people who did not want to be under the banner of the federal government, because they saw it was a government that was taking rights and liberties and dictating the way people lived. And slavery is the thing that they teach us about in our 13 years of slave school, pledging to the 13 stripes, but there was a lot more to it. The central bank not having that was a component. And again, you can see living today that, again, there's a lot of valid reasons to not want to have anything to do with this federal government. It taxes you, it starts needless wars, it kills people in your name. A lot of people are oblivious to this, but people who aren't are not happy about it. So again, just 39 days before Inauguration Day. Again, the Masonic city, it matters because, again, pretty much everything in DC is 47. It's not just Trump. The words president, White House, government, authority, Republican, Democrat, even the letters DC when you run the alphabetic order in reverse are 47. But again, the Masonic city, the Mason study, the 47th problem of Euclid. This nation's birthday is the 4th day of the 7th month. The cornerstone for DC was laid by George Washington on a date with 47 numerology. That was September 18th, 1739. The cornerstone for the Washington Monument was laid on the 4th of July, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, 47 months for these findings. And again, it's also one day after Chris Wray announces his resignation. And if you missed that yesterday, it was 138 days yesterday after the FBI's anniversary of being established that Chris Wray said he's resigning under the pressure of Trump, who's already announced that he's going to replace him anyway. But Donald Trump won 38 like federal. And that means today's 139 days. Today's 139 days after the FBI's establishment. Again, just going with this whole Freemasonry thing. Freemasonry is 139 like America. 47th problem of Euclid, 47 months and 6 days later for the January 6th findings. And again, this Cash Patel guy was announced by the numbers. And again, what the symbolism I see in Cash Patel is, an Indian guy, first of all. When you think America first, you think an Indian guy. And I understand there's people born here that are Americans that are from other countries, and we aren't mixing pot. But the thing that I see in that, in light of the FBI director being Indian, is I'm out here on the West Coast where big tech is. And, I've talked to these engineers at these big tech companies who are helping build the surveillance state. And they are mostly Indian and Chinese, and a lot of them are over here on work visas. So the people helping build the surveillance state, the police state, they look like Cash Patel. and now you got an Indian at the top of the federal police department. Again, it should go without saying. Um, it's a reminder America is not a sovereign nation. Also, just for the record, in light of all the 286 business with the 26-year-old Luigi Mangione, I just found it weird that this guy's actual full name, he goes by Michael E. Horowitz, but his full name, Michael Evan Horowitz, 286. And again, we had a 26-year-old Mangione. He said there were 26 informants on the ground. I don't know. I'm just going, is there more to this 286 than we previously knew? If you missed yesterday's video on what the 286 is about with Luigi Mangione, we definitely uncovered what that's about. But maybe there's more to this number than we've realized. And again, like I always say, this work's an ongoing study. We're at the outside looking in, putting the pieces of the puzzle together as they lay down the artifacts and the clues. And again, the one thing that's for certain is every day it is a numerical ritual, and they're putting numbers in front of your face, and they're expecting people not to see it and not to get it. All right, so now again, with regards to 39 people getting clemency 39 days before Inauguration Day, let's look at the guy who's at the top of the list, Jimmy Dimora, the former county commissioner of Cuyahoga County, where Cleveland is in the state of Ohio. And his birthday, June 21st, is perfect, right? Because you can write that date 21/6, 21/6, like 216, like Cleveland's the 216 area code, and like the gazillion 216 rituals they've done in Cleveland over the years. But they said because of the C-19, he got to stay in home confinement. Anyway, look at all this. Do you remember how when Hunter Biden got his sentence pardoned by his dad, it was a span of 174 days from him being sentenced? Now, or convicted, being found guilty. Now from Jimmy Dimora's birthday to today's 174 days later again. President Joe Biden, 174. Funny enough, number of the beast is also 174, and he goes by the name James C. Dimora. If you look at his online presence, James C. Dimora's got that 666. And again, Cleveland's the 216. If you multiply 6 times 6 times 6, it's 216. But that's actually not the stuff that's interesting. What's interesting, again, is coming back to the 39 thing. Notice how it says Dimora was found guilty of 33 counts, including racketeering, bribery, conspiracy, Hobbs Act conspiracy, and tax charges on May 9th, 2012. And remember, but Biden won the 59th presidential election. Again, perfectly synced with Pope Francis, whose name equals 59. Again, Benedict stepped down on the 59th day of the year for Francis. But May 9th, 2012, and here we are on 12/12. Notice Dimora federal masonry secrecy. When you run it forwards, they're all 33. Again, you had 33 counts. All 33 when you run it forward, all 39 when you run it in reverse. And Cleveland, the city he operated out of, Cleveland 33. That's where the feds raided his property along with other people that day. And again, he was county commissioner in Cuyahoga County, CC in both cases. C is the third letter. CC is 33. And from the day that he was found guilty of all these things, found guilty on May 9th, 2012. From that day to Biden pardoning him, exactly 4,600 days later, Joe Biden, number 46, elected 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. Again, exactly 4,600 days. Catholic and Thursday, both 46. This comes on a Thursday. And notice, again, as we talked about earlier, Thursday also equates to 35, like clemency. We always see these 35 rituals on Thursdays. Record clemency. Cuyahoga County equates to 199, which is the 46th prime number. And notice also that Joe Biden and clemency both equal 37, and 37 is the 12th prime. It says he served 12 years in prison after being sentenced in 2012, now pardoned on 12/12. And when his property was raided, it was July 28th, 2008. Again, his birthday is June 21st. There's only 30 days in June, so it would have been 9 days to the end of June, 28 more. That's 37 days after his birthday, his property got raided. 37 days. And again, this man was born, or where did he go? Born in the year 55. So he would have just have turned 53 years old at the time. But anyhow, rated 37 days after his birthday. And then Joe Biden saves the day for him, gives him clemency. And Joe Biden and clemency both 37, the 12th prime on 12/12. I mean, just. And that's what we see all the time with the stuff that's in the news. And over a decade ago, this was a big story at the time. It's a big focus for a period of time before it goes down the memory hole in the United States amnesia because they have some other story to occupy your mind with. But all of this stuff, just perfect ritual day after day after day. And it should make you go, is it even happening or is it just all contrived crap? Is it to make it seem like the Jimmy Dimoras, when they abuse their privilege as government officials, they end up in prison? I mean, that's the reason for a psyop like this. They said this guy took $166,000 in taxpayer. Here's what it says. Back in 2008, dozens of FBI rated, and for the record, the 166,000, secret society equals 166. But back in 2008, dozens, here we are in 12/12, of FBI raided Dimora's home in Independence. Federal prosecutors said Dimora took more than 166,000 in bribes and cash, home improvements, services from prostitutes, and trips to Las Vegas. Yeah, I feel like our federal criminals in office. Again, I like the acronym for DC, District of Criminals. I feel like this is what they're all doing, you know. And then occasionally they'll have a story like this to make it seem like, oh yeah, there's no cheating in politics. You'll end up in the slammer, just like they do with rig sports too. It's like when they started busting guys for steroids. Mm. Back in the day, they had all the baseball players on meth. Steroids replaced that. Again, just politics there to make it seem like that they're keeping these sports legitimate. Anybody who knows anybody who played college football, they'll tell you that, like, literally everyone at the NCAA level is taking steroids. Everyone. Occasionally, a player will get busted for steroids. It's like, okay, he got singled out for some reason, but again, it's just like maintaining appearances, making it seem like there's some kind of legitimacy and some sort of true justice system. I don't think so. I think it's nothing but political theater and ritualism just like this. I mean, seriously, 39 days before inauguration day. I mean, give me a break. And this is no doubt going to become the focus when Trump takes office with the January 6th pardons. And then, you'll have certain people in the media outraged about that, others saying, oh yeah, it was totally justified. What those people did that day was totally patriotic and American. Again, you're just making people say, which side of the argument do you want to participate in? Do you want to agree with those people over there or these people over there? Because a lot of people think they only have the two options that the TV presents them. The real option is to resist the political manipulation, as our friend Trey would say. And again, abstain from participating in this circus. If nobody voted in these rigged selections, they wouldn't be able to install their crony candidates that go along with these scams. And people need to learn about the scams that they have planned with each one of these administrations, because it's always some scam they do on everybody that makes these politicians have to change the direction they're sailing. And then it provides the excuse, well, he was going to do it, but then this happened. Nope. That's not what's going on, you guys. What's going on is it's all part of a rigged show. And then they bring in their rigged spectacle, their rigged event, whether it's demolitions of towers in Manhattan or 99.9% survivable illness that was originally coined as a seasonal flu in 1968. Again, they always have some little game that they got planned that changes the course of history. And no, if you had an actual real human being in there with a brain Like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not ruining the American way. It's land of the free, home of the brave. We're not locking down anything. But that's not what we get. We get a government owned by the wealthiest of the wealthiest. And what happened in the time of the scandemic? Mom and pop went out of business. A lot of people committed suicide over these things, and the billionaires got even richer, gained even more market share. Amazon, Walmart, Costco got bigger than ever. All right, so yeah, we cut. This was the earlier morning coverage of it. Added on to it with the Jimmy Dimora thing. And then the other thing that's big and buzzing today for all the people that don't really follow or care what's going on with the government. They're those people are often into the tabloid and the celebrity. And again, you got Sean Combs. Three men alleged they got assaulted by Diddy. He drugged them and did naughty things to him. Again, as we covered earlier, I covered this earlier in a video, but in case you missed it, again, these three men, the story comes just right before Christmas on 12/12. Again, Gay and Sean equal 12. Today's the 39th day of Sean's age. Again, in the base cipher, Sean is 39/12, also 24, like 2024 has been a rough year for him. 12 plus 12 is 24. As I pointed out earlier, the story of the three wise men ends with Matthew 2:12, kind of like 212, the Manhattan area code. Allegedly, these three men were all assaulted in Manhattan, same place Diddy was arrested. And by the way, it also came to my attention that the shooter, he's got a birthday out there, the one for the United Healthcare CEO. Supposedly, it was 212 days after the shooter's birthday that the shooting happened as well, also in Manhattan. Go figure. A lot of 212 rituals in that town, in sports and beyond. But again, from Diddy's arrest to this latest allegation, 87 days later, if you read the story, plenty of the use of the word freak offs again. These were some of the men that were invited to the freak offs or participated in freak offs. They got drugged at the freak offs. Again, Puff Daddy equals freak offs in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. And the one cipher where they don't overlap, Puff Daddy's 39 like Sean, like this is the 39th day of his age. And isn't it funny how how it fits in with 39 days to Inauguration Day? Because, again, Diddy used to be Mr. Rock the Vote, Mr. Vote or Die, the guy that'd get you out on TV. I'd be telling everybody in America, you got to vote. If you're an American, you got to vote. Again, went to Howard like Kamala. Yeah, so anyhow, just news by the numbers all day, every day. Always, always, every day. What's in the national news is Kabbalistic ritual. This whole practice coding numbers into words comes from Kabbalah, the cabal running the show. So yeah, I think that's it for now. Just wanted to make sure we're all caught up with the latest headlines. And here, let me see if there's any new breaking stories. Elton John believes legalizing marijuana is one of the greatest mistakes of all time. Interesting. I wonder what he thinks about legalizing alcohol. You guys remember that, alcohol became legal again in the United States in 33, destroyed a lot of families. Some families got super powerful off prohibition by funneling in that substance from Canada. Kennedy, old 33. Okay. But yeah, I think, whoops, wrong thing. We covered the whole drone sightings thing, another 47 UFO special. The UFO business is always 47. If you missed the work on the fires in Maui, we covered that beginning of the week. Okay. Jim Carrey emerging from retirement because he needs the money, huh? Uh, Jim Carrey, the one who went on Jimmy Fallon, who broadcast on the Masonic Temple and mocked about the Illuminati. When anyone can look into history, George Washington's letters, his concerns about the Illuminati infiltrating Freemasonry. Okay. Yeah, I think we're all caught up for now. Thank you, CBD. CBD from overseas. Please share your current thoughts on Biden not finishing his term. Again, I'm still leaning on the idea he's not going to finish. We'll see. Is the prophecy of Gerald Ford going to fail? Uh, Again, there's still time all the way up until January 20th. It'd be funny if the first female president was president for one day. Um, let's think. Today leaves 39 days. 39 days. Tomorrow will leave 38. There's an interesting number. Gerald Ford was the 38th president. Saturday would leave 37. Joe Biden numbers. Sunday 36. Monday 35. Uh, the word female is 24. Could we get our first female president at the very end of 2024 with 24 days until the inauguration? That'd be 4 days before the end of the year. So it's either going to happen or it's not. But again, the Gerald Ford prophecy was very specific, and I don't know how it could be any more uh, aligned with Kamala than unless there's going to be some other woman in the future born on October 20th. Again, Gerald Ford said we get the first female president when an old man is the president, and there's a younger lady who's the vice president, and he kicks the bucket and doesn't finish his term. And again, he said that in the Herbert Hoover Library, and Kamala was born the same day that Herbert Hoover died. So, uh, yeah, time is running out, but there still is time. So we will see. Gematria says, "Hey Zach, January 6, 2021 was about 47 months ago." I thank you. I definitely covered that numerous times earlier in the stream. You might have got here a little bit later. Thank you. King Richard says Hana Kobayashi's family made contact with her yesterday, which was 33 days after her disappearance. You must have meant to write 137, the 33rd prime. Don't forget Kobe equals 33, right? Because you had her arrive in the U.S. on the 8th. Her father's body's found on the 24th, 8 and 24. A daughter and a father like Kobe and his daughter. But yeah, Kobe's a big 33. Kobe died. What was it? Kobe died right around the time of was it the 30? Was it WrestleMania 33? There was something like that. I have to go back and look at how it all was, but there was something about the wrestler who won right after Kobe's death in 33. But yeah, Kobe has that old 33. Kobayashi. And remember, she was last seen at where the Lakers play. She was at an event for LeBron. All right. Appreciate it. Gematria Sense again says Meta donates 1 million to Trump 211 days after Mark's birthday at 211, the 47th prime. Belichick signs with UNC 97 days after NFL season began and 11 months after leaving the NFL. He also signed 239 days after his birthday, which is the 52nd prime, when he was born in 52, and he lost in Super Bowl 52. I didn't look a whole lot into the Belichick thing yet, though. The 97th NFL season, Bill Belichick equals 97. He won the 97th season. 97 was the 25th prime. That's the year they moved the touchback to 25 yards and had the 25-point comeback on the Falcons on 2-5 in the game that the Pope blessed, where Pope is 25. But yeah, good observations. Do you see any indications of Biden not finishing in the current news? Oh, you had sorry, because I didn't respond to your first super chat, you super chat again. I'm in the habit of looking at the super chats at the end of streams when I'm done presenting. Um, yeah, again, so sorry you had to super chat 2 times to get an answer, but thank you for your generosity as well. So yeah, I think it's definitely still possible. Um, just this idea about 24. Again, let me I know female equals 24. Lady does not have it. Lady has the 42. You see how female is 24, ladies or female does have the 24, but it's 42. Ladies also 42. I know bitch is also 24. Interesting. Um, I just want to see 24 days before inauguration day, how that would line up with old Kamala there. October 20th, 2024, be December 27th. 68 days. Interesting. 68. Um, Barack Obama's got the 68 connection. We all know what happened to the civil rights leader in 68. Caskets go 6 feet deep or 8 feet long. I mean, they could work it out a number of other ways too, but yeah, it just seems like 24 would be a good year for the first female as well. So I mean, it could still happen anytime before January 20th, but I'd say if 2024 is passed and it still doesn't happen, it seems like I don't know why they would do that. 24 is the year that makes sense. So, uh, hold on, let me check one other thing real quick. Normally I just do this in my head, but interesting. That day's 37 days after Joe Biden's birthday too. Joe Biden. If Joe Biden resigned for Kamala, so she could be the first female, like Kamala's press person asked for. The word resign is 36. That'd be the day before. And remember, resign's also 72. Biden became senator-elect in 72, the same year Richard Nixon became president-elect, and Richard Nixon did resign by the numbers, and that gave us Gerald Ford, who gave us the prophecy of the first female president. President Biden does equal 72 like resign. That means the last day of the year would be 72 days after Biden's birthday. Yes, that's also possible. So we'll see. We'll see. It's definitely a possibility. And remember, the president before Grover Cleveland's second term began was Harris' son, not too far off from Harris, and the shortest U.S. president in history was also Harrison, a different Harrison, William Henry Harrison, who died April 4th, 1861. Hey, thanks for becoming a member, Delta 99. All right, I'm gonna leave it there for now, you guys. Got to get back on the other grind. Yeah, the whole thing about this Joe Biden not being the Joe Biden of years past. I mean, it's possible. I've seen the earlobe analysis. His earlobes did seem to change. So again, how deep are the lies from the federal government? Really deep, but the depth we don't totally know until I suppose the revolution happens and we get our hands on all the evidence. So, all right, truth seekers, thanks again. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you for hitting the like and the share. And until next time.